everyone. Welcome back to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
I'm welcome back, Ron.
Ron is back with us. I know you guys are so happy to see that face up there. Which also means we got some production again.
Right after you say, you'll get your music and your intro back.
Yes, indeed. And today we are here to talk Raising Kanan. This was season 2, episode 9, titled Antitrust. So we got a lot of good stuff to get into. A lot of predictions that, may or may not have come true as well. So we'll dig into that. But first, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Click that red subscribe button. Make sure that you are tuned into the Spot Real Talk. So if you guys hang tight, make sure you subscribe and we'll be right back with you. Back, and like I said, we are talking about Raising Kanan today. This was a good episode. A lot of deaths. I think we had 4 deaths this episode. So you guys want to jump into the first one? Jimmy, old boy from Sal's team.
Well, you know
what? He was out here thinking it was sweet.
Yeah, you bowled pretty good, but your back wasn't covered. So, and I'm glad I saw Lou step up and do what we know Lou can do. He can take you out if he wants you to. And see, that's the whole thing about a person that's going to do it and a person that's going to miss. See, Jimmy and gang, if you're going to shoot somebody, why are you going to call their name and have them turn sideways? That's why you missed, But you saw what my boy did. He walked right up on him. And before he can get his next sentence out, he still doesn't even know he's dead.
Yep. He played no games. And even though Rock and her siblings, they go through their trials and tribulations, I love how they ride for each other.
That's what I say.
Lou ain't have no problem taking up for Marvin.
And he said that. I mean, it's like that. Siblings can fight all the time, but nobody else better not mess with them.
Exactly. And I was glad to see who didn't die, which was Marvin. I think we all called that. We said that Marvin would probably make it and that Renee would be the collateral damage, which she was. So sad to see her go, but RIP to Renee.
At least not yet. Yeah, because I am still nervous. Only because I see Marvin getting this redemption arc. Yes. And a lot of times when characters start getting this redemption arc, they're out of there. Now, I don't want to see that. I don't even want to speak it into existence. Because,
it is a little troubling to see him becoming so passive, because you can't be passive in an organization like that. Fortunately, it calls for the ruthlessness that Marvin has or had, and you have to be able to do what you're going to do with the quickness. You don't have time to think and rethink. While I'm happy to see that he has really reached out to Jukebox and he said sorry.
Yes, he apologized.
Right? Exactly. I said, what did I say in the round table? Why didn't you just come out and say I'm sorry? Well. Redemption is
well, you know what? And he, shout out to London, because he didn't give any spoilers. Like he knew that was coming. He knew he had to apologize, but he couldn't say that.
Well,
he was tiptoeing on a lot of topics where he was trying not to spill the beans.
You know what? It could have been where he thought about it and said crew luck, because he does have some justice in terms of whether he does something off the tip or whatever, but he could have said, let's come back and let me say I'm sorry, because it was missing. And we knew you were sorry. We knew that, but you had to say it. Whether it falls on deaf ears or not, you had to say it. So I'm glad. And if it was written in already, bravo.
Yeah, I'm so glad he finally said the words, and Jukebox seemed to really appreciate it as well. So it looks like they are on the up and up. But when Marvin starts talking about, well, actually Jukebox brought it up and was saying, be a better person for yourself before you can be a better person for anybody else. So like you say, he goes on this redemption away. Rock told him Sam had to go. And I brought up Sam too. I didn't even think about it in the round table because I was just thinking about that moment they had at the crack house where him and Sam was having that moment that turned into a bit of a comedy scene. But he said that there will be more between him and Sam, and we got it this week because Sam was ready to sing all the way.
In fact, he did. I mean, he said enough. Now, I hear again that big mistake is putting him on a bus and giving him all that money thinking that he's going to do the right thing. Really?
We talked about this with Rock and Symphony too. Like, is it the right move to make where you're trying to do the right thing, but you have this loose end that's out there? Well, so Sam is definitely not reliable though. You cannot trust a crackhead to go out of town and stay out of town.
Hollis, when he said, "Let me off the bus," I was screaming. I was like, he didn't get 2 steps before he was right back off the bus.
Right.
Didn't even go a block. He said, "Get me off this bus." But I was thinking that maybe perhaps Marvin was kind of sitting in the cut thinking that something like that would happen, but apparently that's not the case. But anyway, he knows where to find him, and you know what, crackheads, they're like front page news in the street. You don't have to look for them, you'll know.
Yeah, I think Sam's days are numbered. If he ever is cited by anyone in Rock's crew, it's going to be a problem. And the fact that Detective Burke is on him so bad, he already had given a testimony that contradicts what he's saying currently. So his word already don't really mean much, even though he's right about what he's saying. Detective Burke is a little off for trusting that kind of a witness and thinking that she can build a case around that. And then I just think that her still doing this investigation after Captain and already dug in her butt about it, it just shows what type of person she is. And even like her girlfriend Anita was saying, you are really doing too much. She told her to abandon the investigation, told her she really needs to stop trying to prove herself. And she just does a lot. She's on my who can get the hands list, always has been.
Me too. I feel like this, and this is just one of my predictions. I think she might end up dying or whatever. And I feel like since the girlfriend is still around and isn't the girlfriend part of Internal Affairs too or something? Or whatever. I think she might be or whatever. I know she used to work with Howard back in the day.
Right.
But I think if something happens to Burke, she'll probably be the one to pick up the charge in the next season.
Well, remember, the captain had already, when Burke left the office, Captain picked up the phone and called Internal Affairs.
Sure did.
So he I think that what I think we'll see the next episode is Internal Affairs coming down hard on her.
They don't have nothing right now.
Well, you also have that thing with Nicole's dad where he bought the dude in from Internal Affairs.
But he said we don't have nothing without Jukebox. And this is where I think Jukebox is going to swoop in and save Burke. Because she feels like she owes Burke because Burke gave her mother's address and stuff and kind of looked out for her regarding the Nicole stuff. So I think that she's probably going to put Burke onto game and let Burke know that Howard was the one that went to see Nicole's dad.
But Howard has been maneuvering behind the scenes too, because he watched that whole situation go down where she was talking with Sam and he fed that information back to Rock.
I was going to say, no other way. Rock.
Yeah, there's no other way she would have known that Sam had got locked up.
He clearly told. He keeping his hands dirty. He told Rock. I mean, keeping his hands clean.
Yeah. So it's two opposing kind of teams here, where one side is working hard, but another side might be working harder. So it's just a test of time to see who's going to come out on top. But I'm leaning towards Burke getting knocked out of here.
Me too.
Walls are certainly closing in on Burke. And there's no escape route for her. And unfortunately, it's her own doing. So it's by her own hand. And, you can't leave a certain situation alone then you're going to suffer the consequences for it. You've been
Yeah. So I think Burke's days are numbered. I definitely think Sam's days are numbered.
Yeah, they are.
Because it's only a matter of time before he needs another fix. And
I don't know if Sam will get
come
that.
Looking for something.
That next fix is going to be a permanent one.
You right about that. Yeah. So that was something else. I think the next thing that we have talked about with this whole ordeal, now that Jimmy is dead, the Italians, of course, are like, okay, that's really 2 of our people, 3 that she has gotten killed, wrapped up in this whole Marvin ordeal. So Sal tries to talk to Unique about getting information on Rock's organization, but he's kind of like, I want my hands clean. Like, I'm not a snitch. I'm not trying to be in the middle of y'all. Which, Sal doesn't really take it too well. He's like, I helped you out when you needed help with Rock, but he's like, Unique told him you got paid for that. So that was business deal, which I really like how Unique moves. Like,
I'm proud of Unique. I was like, I heard that. And then he was too, Unique's face calling her a mooly and all that. Like, yeah. So what would it look like? He even looked like a Sambo working with Sal.
Yeah. Well, what got me with Sal is the fact that he now understands that he's not just dealing with this Black woman who's out there doing drugs. He now understands that that's a ruthless person, and that's why he wants to find out what her whole organization is about. Because as you heard him tell his boys, no, we're not going door knocking anymore. We're going to have to go back, step back, and take a real good look at who we're dealing with, because obviously she's got some heat and muscle, and we can't just roll up in there like they thought they could. So, in respect, I'm glad that things turned out the way they have, because Sal now has to respect Rock. And you know what? That gives a little credence to Unique, just like you were saying. When Unique stepped up and said, I'm not a snitch, and he said that to Sal. Now Sal has to now understand that these Black folk ain't just, kowtowing to you. You don't mean anything to them. And in as much as he is disappointed with Unique, I don't think he's going to do anything to Unique, because, that's just a whole nother area. They don't know that game south of New Jersey.
Yeah. And clearly they underestimated Rock. So, they really, like you said, got to do their due diligence and proceed lightly on how they approach that situation. Because just like, they underestimated Rock, they could be underestimating Unique too. So I do think you're correct in how, him standing his ground gained him a lot of respect.
Right.
He did, but I don't put it past him to try to do something to Unique, because he said, you disappointed me, and
I don't take that well.
I don't take that well. So as far as Sal's eyes, he is as much of a mooly as Rock and the crew are. So I think that he would go against him too. His son is dead now.
I don't
was rocking with Unique because his son brought Unique.
I don't disagree with you at all. I just think that what I don't know is, what does he know really about Unique? Does he know that he's just solo, or does he think Unique might have some? I think that he does fear Unique might have some connection with Rock, which is why he asked him to go in and spy on her in the first place, because he knows there's some connection there. So if he's smart, if he does do anything, he better tread lightly, because
and just like Rock, she talked about bringing in people from all of these different parts of New York. Exactly. I'm sure Unique got a network too.
Yes, he does.
So, they're talking about really going to war. Rock says she's not really trying to beat them. She's just trying to make them bleed, which, is just as bad, if not worse.
Well, none of them need a war, because, bodies dropping, that brings on the police.
That's
That's too much heat. So, you got to take a step back and reevaluate your plan, because right now it ain't looking good for anybody.
What I was really hoping is that Rock and Cartier would kind of partner up, and that he could be her a little bit of a silent muscle in this war that she's about to go in. But as we've seen, she's cutthroat. Rock went right behind his back and snaked Tremont and his guy up from under Cartier.
But you know what though? Because it wouldn't have been, he would have tried to take the whole pie. Like he showed his hand.
With with Lou.
With Lou, yeah. He's that kind. Like he's like, oh, I'm gonna be a silent partner. But you see, as soon as he had a chance, he was like, you know.
And that's why you saw Rock and Lou put him out.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly. Because he would have done the same. He would have done the same thing. He would have talked that game to Rock, and then he would have tried to steamroll Rock too.
Yeah. So, and again, that's why I love their siblinghood, because Lou probably went to Rock and was like, look, Cartier doing X, Y, Z. And Rock was like, well, look, I got a Cartier problem too. Look, we can do this
plus,
together.
Trayvon told him, he was like, I'm not getting down with you until you handle him.
Yep.
So she said, I heard what you said.
Yeah. And you know what Trey said? Trey said, we might be looking at a woman that's even colder than Cartier. And
which for them should be a warning sign. I would think that they would see the red flags and be like, no, we good with Cartier.
But you know what? I knew Cartier was in trouble when I saw Lou's face, when Lou told him, I thought you were a silent partner. And he was like, well, no.
You teach a man to fish.
Right, exactly. And I'm saying with that face Lou had on him, I'm like, the only time I saw that was with Crown. And we see what happened with Crown. So and so it wasn't a surprise to see Rock and Lou. Because I love it. A family that plays together, they kill together too. So
well, you know what? R.I.P. to Cartier as well. Thanks to Omar Dorsey for joining the platform. If you have not watched that interview, make sure you also check out our interview with Omar Dorsey, because I thought he would have been around a little bit longer, but he still gave us some gems on his character, and he did a good job at not spilling the beans, because I didn't think he would go this soon.
I didn't either. And he did a good job.
Yes. So that was hot. Make sure you check that out. But also on the topic though, I was thinking about, they brought up Crown, and Rock had asked Lou, and she was like, well, do you any word on what happened with Crown? And Lou was basically like, no, I don't know nothing. But oh boy, the landlord seems to have known that Crown's body got found in the river. So I'm like, well, how is this information floating around the hood? But Lou may not be privy. So I was wondering if he was informed or not. Like, did he know they found his body and he's just withholding that information with Rock from Rock so that she don't flip out?
No, I know she asked, who do we know who did it? So I think they're aware that the body has been found. She asked you, but I don't think that she believes Lou for real, because she basically put it in Lou's head to do it. Like, she was messing with him. She made Lou do it. So she knows for real that Lou did it.
Right.
She knows. That's why she asked her, do we know who did it? And she was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about Mr. Infamous? I'm sorry, Famous.
We gotta talk about Famous.
We got to bring up Famous.
Famous getting the hands this week.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's in a desperate spot, clearly, with the landlord pressing him for money, and he doesn't have it to give, because obviously that deal with Crown was that the landlord would get free studio time in exchange for giving Famous the apartment. So Famous tries to negotiate the studio time, which Cartier shut down. And so he got desperate. He sees old boy from the neighborhood that robbed him.
Freddie.
And, he looks like he's splashing. He looks like he got some money, doing well for himself all the time, apparently. But, Famous doesn't really know. Kanan seems to have known, like, oh, he ain't really about nothing. That's all for show. But Famous is in a desperate spot, obviously. So he gets the gun from Corinne, lied to her, said somebody was after him, when in fact, he's the one that's after somebody. And goes to try to roll up on this boy like it was just going to be that easy. And the boy, of course, had a gun too. Famous panics and shoots the boy 4 times. So I'm like, where does this leave us with Famous?
Well,
because I don't think Malcolm can help him out of this one if he's found out.
Remember, the neighbor had opened the door.
The door was ajar.
Right. That neighbor might have been at the door the whole time, heard the names mentioned.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. So when that door opened and shut, that's a big problem for Famous.
Yep.
So I see Famous going to the Bing.
Going to the Bing.
Or getting taken out. Like, who knows who that boy is associated with? What crew he from with?
Yeah.
It's true.
He's lucky to go to the Bing.
He could. Yep, you're right. They could come back on him too because he was rolling with a couple guys.
And that makes me worry for Kanan because we know Kanan hasn't been staying at home. He's been living with Famous since him and Rock are beefing. And now that Famous has done this, people probably know where he live at. They know exactly. I mean, the boy, he had on a mask, and the guy he was trying to rob still recognized him. So I'm like, you wasn't low. You really didn't do a good job at disguising yourself at all. So it's very likely that people know who you are, know where you live, and it's gonna come back. And Kanan staying there puts him in danger of being mixed in with Famous's crap. Well, and who knows if Famous is even going to let Kanan know, like, I messed up.
He'll let him know. You know why? Because first of all, he's not a killer, or at least he wasn't up until that point. He was shaking and nervous. So now that he has a body on him, you know he's going to tell Kanan. I know he will. Now
he will probably.
The question is it too late? And what can Kanan do for him? Which really is nothing, because like I said, that neighbor, we don't even know who that neighbor is, or like you said, we don't know the background, who they may be swinging with. We don't know. So, but we do know how street justice is, and that's right now. It's not a good look for Famous.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because I don't know how this is going to play out, but I wonder if Kanan is going to try to, because Kanan has a soft spot, and he always tries to help Famous out. And so I wonder if once Kanan finds out about it, if he's going to try to intervene and try to protect Famous. At which point, Kanan might also be put in danger, and that's where Rock may have to step back in or something like that, because we've seen from Rock talking with Jukebox, she's really hurt at the fact that Kanan left and that they aren't on speaking terms. And so I think Rock is going to try to do something like win him back over. Because even in the conversation Kanan had with Malcolm, they seem to be trying to get a bond and develop some kind of father-son relationship. I thought that moment was so cute because they didn't really know how to deal with each other in the father-son capacity. So they were trying, like, can I do this? Can I, trying to feel each other out as to what the boundaries are. But and Kanan really asked him, though, he said, why would my mother put me up to killing my own father? Did she know? He's asking all the right questions. To which I appreciated Malcolm saying, let her talk for herself. I'm not going to speak for her.
But he also said, it's hard to come back from this.
That's why I think Rock is going to try to do something that'll like a grand gesture to try to win him over.
I don't know if she can, because he now realizes and understands the truth. That his mother put him up to kill his dad. And, I don't care how ruthless you are, that's got to put a stain on what you think about your mom. And he already saying that he doesn't know how he can get back with her because of it. So, it's interesting to see how this melee works out between Rock, Detective Howard, and Kanan, because it's a big mess. If you stop about it, it's a big mess. Because
sorry, what'd you say?
I just don't know how. I don't know how Rock can come back from this.
It's definitely going to be hard for her. But I was thinking back to the Kanan and Famous situation, because I was wondering, what if Famous went to Kanan and was like, I need your help. I did something. I killed somebody. I really need you to help me out. Get the police officer to help me out or something like that. What if Kanan declines and is like, nah, man, I can't help you with this. And Famous comes back at him with like, oh, well, I'm gonna tell everybody such and such is your real father, whoever.
But he doesn't know that. He doesn't know that yet.
But he knows the initials.
Yeah,
he knows MH.
But see,
but he said, is that DEFCON?
Right.
So, but he could put the pieces together, like, oh, that cop that you got to bail me out was MH. He could start putting the pieces together and be like, oh, so your father's a cop. I'm gonna tell everybody if you don't help me out.
That kitchen is too hot, and here's the reason why. Because we still got to know who that neighbor was that opened the door. We still got to know what they heard, who they are.
It just was a neighbor. It could have been anybody.
It could have been anybody. But right now, murder one is that kitchen is too hot. And I don't know what Kanan can do, or even Detective Howard, if he's arrested for that. So, to me, that's a stretch. But it would be interesting to see the next how they play this out in the next episode, because in my mind's eye, it's a wrap for Famous.
But in Famous's mind, he's not really a logical person. Like, just like he could see that boy and think that he could rob him with no issues.
Yeah,
he could think that he could really think that, oh, you had this cop help me before, you can do it again, even if it's something like a murder situation. Famous, when he's in a desperate spot, he doesn't think very well.
He's not a killer. But that's the thing. You're not a killer. So what made you think that just by brandishing a gun on Freddie, that Freddie's going to drop everything and give you what you want? You know who Freddie is. So why would you even,
Because he think, oh, Kanan can do it, so can I. He kind of got that secondhand boldness.
He was desperate. But you know what? It wasn't just Kanan. It was Cartier, too. Because when he tried to appeal to Lou, he gave him that whole speech Cartier did about, teaching a person how to fish so they could do their own thing. So I think, subconsciously that was in the back of his head. And he was just like, and Kanan said it to him too, when they were at the pizza spot, like when he was saying, like, how is he always able to eat? And Kanan said, well, because he grimy. He was like, if you do grimy stuff like that, you'll be able to eat too.
Yeah,
but that was the wrong lesson for Famous to
But Famous, it's all on Famous, because Lou already told him, get back to your game. Start writing so you can get back into the studio. That's how
I think Lou was going to help. I think Lou would have helped if it wasn't for Cartier.
He would have helped the landlord's thing, but I'm saying Famous, if your thing is rapping, then why aren't you writing? Why aren't you trying to get back in the studio and get some things done? He hasn't done that in the last several episodes. He's just been, living on borrowed time. And so now it's time to pay the piper.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot that can go down in this next episode, because Famous spot is clearly hot now. If Kanan returns home, you seen the Italians driving past Rock's house. They know where she lives now.
Exactly.
So that makes it hot.
That's
so we know that she got this new spot that she finally got the keys to this episode. So I know Kanan was like, I ain't trying to be out here, but he really might not have no choice. Him or Rock, they might be forced to go and stay out there.
That's my prediction. I feel like the Italians are going to somehow, they might get the drop on Kanan, and that might force Rock's hand.
It's a lot.
I don't know.
I mean, not kill Kanan, of course. We know Kanan doesn't die, but I think they might try to step to him, or
the question is,
kidnap him, shoot him, whatever the case may be, to force Rock's hand.
Now, and I don't remember or recall, and we may have had this conversation before, but could this be a situation where we see Rock's demise?
I don't think not this.
I don't think so. Not in season 2. There were some people trying to give spoilers in our comments.
Oh Lord.
and hopefully it's not what they said it's going to be, because Starz usually switches out scripts and everything like that. But I let's just say this, I hope that Marvin still pulls through.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna say, if you want some more insight on Marvin, go watch our London Brown interview. That is up on our channel. Omar Dorsey's interview is up on our channel, so check out the interview playlist that we have. Make sure you like and subscribe as well. But I think that going forward, I think that this war is going to heat up, because next week is the season finale.
Right.
So they're going to leave us on the explosive episode. They have already shaped us up this week for something. I didn't think 4 people were going to die this week. So they're already kind of heating it up and setting the stage for what's to come. Now, I didn't get a chance to see the preview for the next episode. Did you guys see it?
No, I didn't get a chance to.
I did.
Okay, so do you have anything to speak to on what was in the preview?
It's just saying that they're preparing for war. That's pretty much. It wasn't a whole lot.
Well, these season
it's getting ready to be war for sure.
These season finales have been less than exciting, or for the last couple of shows we've seen, we've been kind of lukewarm with these season finales.
Sometimes they leave you on a cliffhanger, though. Yeah. Like maybe they don't want it to be.
I was going to say, we're not raising Kanan, because
suspenseful.
I'm hoping that they don't, that Raising Kanan, you know, I hope that
last year they were good. They had a good season finale last year.
Okay, yeah, I'm hoping that this one will be, because right now, yeah, but what do we do though? I mean, we got a lot of heavy situations right now, and we can't really determine who's going to go. I mean, I know Kanan won't suffer the consequences of Famous, but like you mentioned, Tierra, does Detective Howard somehow save the day? You know, and Famous beats a murder rap. That is even possible. Does Unique is his last days? You know, on this.
Burke.
Are they numbered?
Burke, Sam.
Burke.
Yep.
Sam, you know, so we got a lot of deaths to, or presumed deaths to take care of.
Mm-hmm. You know, I was also wondering, how does Zisa deal with the news that Cartier is dead?
Right.
You know, and does she, you know, assume that Lou did it? Does she automatically jump to that?
Does she even care? Because she doesn't seem like she cares about any of that. Like, even after the Jamaicans bust in there, she was like, are we gonna get back to it? You know.
Well, I think yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
But I do think, and you might have tapped on it, Tiara. I think it was not a good plan to kill Cartier at this point. Because I really think that she could use his muscle. And he likes her, you know, maybe if she gave him, you know, Tiffany, you always talk about how women are our weakness. And maybe if she played that hand.
She did play the hand, because he told her everything. First of all, she has his channel now. He talked too much. He caused his own demise, because he was so busy trying to impress Rock.
Right.
Like, he told her about his channels in DC, Maryland, Virginia. Now she got Trayvon. So she got his DC to Maryland, Virginia pipeline. And you know what happened when I saw that? It reminded me of The Wire, because in season 5 of The Wire, Prop Joe, he was the man. He was the connect to the Greeks. Mm-hmm. And he took Marlo under his wing, and he thinking he keeping the peace, and he showing him the young boy and stuff. And you know what happened? That young boy, his own nephew, who was Method Man, by the way, sold him out. And Marlo killed him and took his place and did business with the Greeks. Rock just did the same thing. So that was Cartier's fault. He ran his mouth too much, and he gave her too much game.
But if she gave him some of that pee, it'd have been over.
She was pushing him off.
She was never going to give him none. It was the allure of dangling the carrot. She made him think he was going to get some, and she got all the information she needed. And once old boy told him, like, listen, you get rid of him, then I'm good.
Yep.
Done.
It's a wrap. Yep, exactly.
She played
him. Exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I cannot wait for this season finale next week. I am so looking forward to it.
Me too.
Do you guys have anything else to add before we close out?
It's just bittersweet, because, you know, once it closes out, that's the end for now, or at least.
I know.
And I've really gotten really charged with the whole season.
Yeah, this is a good show. It's been a great season. I appreciate all of the acting, and the writing has been so solid.
Definitely
amazing. Yes. So I am thoroughly enjoying this season. I'm so happy for everybody involved that they have been getting such good reception for the show as well. So keep up the good work. To all the viewers out there, I want you guys to drop down in the comment section. Give us your thoughts on this episode and your predictions for the finale. Mm-hmm. I'm very interested in seeing, maybe not the spoilers, if that is the case, but some of your thoughts on what you think is going to happen.
Right.
Also, again, like I said, make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Click that red subscribe button and the notification bell so you get alerted whenever we post. And also follow us on all social media platforms at The Spot Real Talk on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, everything. And if you haven't already watched our interview with Omar Dorsey, and we also have another one with London Brown, please make sure you check those out. Any final words? Going once, going twice.
Oh.
All right. Well, This has been real. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you are back next week for the finale recap. So I guess until then, we're gonna call it a night. See you next week.
Bye.
I gotta do it, I'ma do the most. Since they paid to see a show, got the South overflow, yeah. If I gotta do it, I'ma do the most. Watching me to take note, raise a toast to the goat, yeah. Body be dripping and fancy, pat on my nose with that fancy. Money on me, I got plenty. 100s, 50s, and 20s. Stage stack, lot of them, rags. House by the lake, bought that. Ops to the brakes, draw back.